I just wanted a better picture of this
Yeah.
tooth, and to make sure nothing else was going on. So we did the cone beam. Fortunately, I looked at the cone beam because he basically, as I recall, he was asymptomatic with everything. So let's close this down. And there's his infection here on that tooth.
Yep.
But the neat thing about this cone beam was I started looking around. This is the one that on his upper arch, I'm finding this big infection here. And I go, what? Because he was totally asymptomatic over here. And it turns out that this is part of a bridge that was just really breaking down. You can see over here too.
Oh yeah.
And it had blown out. It had blown out around the palatal root and blew out the palatal aspect. This palatal wall is all blown out.
Yep.
So we had to section the bridge, take this all out, and then rebuild this ridge and rebuild the palatal part of the defect here.
Wow.
Since I was there, I had to build up this area also because in case we're going to put an implant in there. So this whole area has been built up now and it's just healing.
Yep.
But that, every time even my staff now, every time I run a cone beam, they come back and they go, what else did we find?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, right? I mean, it's funny to your point of just thinking how you would get this information with just 2D tools. It's hard to imagine.
Right. Let's see if I have. See, this is how he presented with the regular radiographs.
Yep.
And it just really picks up probably the buccal root with the lingual root superimposed, and the bone looks fine, but it's all blown out on the other side.
Yeah. So, the 2D, if you only had the 2D, you would have no idea that was going on.
Yeah. And besides that, he was totally asymptomatic. He had no complaints, no mobility because it was all held by the molar here. Right. He had the stability, but wow, that was such a shock to find that one.
Yeah.
And but there was no problem explaining it to him because I showed him his case and he went, wow.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, but very impressive pictures. So
to your point about imagine if the patient, a layperson who is asymptomatic, has no reason to think there's anything wrong. And if you just showed him the 2D radiographs, even if, let's say, you were aware there was a problem as the dental professional, it's hard to convince the patient, yeah, no, you should really take care of this because this is bad.
Yeah, looking at the 2D picture, especially for a layman, he would say, I don't see anything wrong with that. It looks fine to me. And yeah, it does not look that bad on a 2D picture.